Okay, tell me once my screen is visible. Good evening.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, one second. Just one second. Okay, as we had, please turn on your camera. As we had started with the TOEFL test, we look on Monday. We looked at the overall test, correct? We looked at what the TOEFL test is about. Now
Yes, ma'am.
we are going to deep dive into every aspect of it, that is reading, writing, speaking, and listening. Okay, and we are also going to see the question types that we have. We are going to start off with reading question types today. We'll look at some of them today, and in the next session, we'll look at the rest of them. Okay,
Okay.
now we already know that TOEFL IBT reading section, the reading text that we'll get will be excerpts from university level textbooks. Okay, so these reading passages are kind of stimulation of what you're going to do in real life in your actual test. Okay, now the topic that you might get will be different kinds of topics. Okay, you could get a topic from, say, a psychology textbook. Sometimes you could get a topic from, say, history textbooks. Sometimes you could get a topic from astrophysics textbooks. Sometimes, now understand this, whatever will be asked, whatever questions will be asked, there's a lot of background noise, Daksh.
Yes, ma'am.
There's a lot of background noise.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just keep your camera on. That would be preferred, okay? Yes, great.
Yes, ma'am.
So, as I was saying, the reading passages that you will get will be from, will be excerpts. The reading passages that you will get will be excerpts from your university level textbooks. Okay. Now, the excerpts that you might get will be from various topics. Okay, topics could be anywhere from, say, your psychology textbook. Topic could be from your astrophysics textbook. Topic could be even from your business management background textbooks. Okay, so you could get various topics, but whatever questions will be asked, they do not expect you to have any background knowledge of that particular topic. Okay, so say if you're reading a passage which talks about psychology, TOEFL does not expect you to know anything about psychology before reading that passage. Okay, there is no background knowledge needed. Whatever will be asked to you, it will be from that passage itself. Okay, so that is where your reading comprehension needs to be good. Okay, your language analysis skills need to be good. But what I usually ask my students, at least you should know what these topics are. Now, when we look at listening, I'll tell you what are the main topics that you get in listening as well as reading. Okay, what are the subdomains also, I will tell you. I usually suggest the students that at least you should know what we mean when I say astrophysics. You should know what I mean when I say marketing. You should know what I mean when I say psychology, when I say sleep cycle. Okay, at least you should be familiar with these topics. Okay, not only for TOEFL, it also expands your general knowledge. When you're talking to someone, if someone says, okay, I'm pursuing psychology, if say that person is doing masters or PhD, he might just go ahead and say, okay, I'm doing deep analysis on, say, developmental psychology. You should know what it means at least. Okay, I'm not asking you to go and study developmental psychology. I'm just asking you that you should know what it means. Okay, that's what I expect. TOEFL does not expect even that much. Okay, now we already know that we have two reading passages, correct? We looked at that. We have two reading passages in our reading test of TOEFL, and then we have 10 questions per passage. Overall we have 20 questions, and we have overall 35 minutes. Okay, score that you get is overall 20. For the last question you get 2 points. Okay, so your overall score is 22, which is converted to the scale of 0 to 30 then. Okay, that scale I have, you don't need to worry about that scale. Okay, if you ever need any help, I'm there to help you out, don't worry about that part. I already told you this part that okay, we the topics that you might get will be from college level textbooks, they could be from books or journals or general academic interest textbooks. Okay, whatever questions will be asked, they will be from the passage itself. Okay, test takers do not need to be familiar with the subject material, we do not expect that. Now the passages that you could get could be different types of passages. Okay, sometimes it could be just a narration, okay, where they are describing an event or historical or biographical topic. Say they are telling you about Genghis Khan, okay, and the whole passage talks about that, his journey or what all things he did basically. Or it could be an exposition passage where an idea is given and the passage is explaining that idea. Or it could be an argumentation passage where, you know, reasons are given, giving leading to conclusions. Okay, these are different types of passages that you could get. Sometimes it could just be a classification of something which is given. Okay, sometimes they might just compare and contrast some things. Sometimes they might just give you a problem first and then they might give you solutions of those problems in the passage itself. And sometimes it could be cause and effect type of a passage as well. As you keep practicing, you will understand how these passages are different. You don't need to get confused as of now. Okay, now when we talk about question types, we have three main question types. I have already told you that in reading we have only MCQs. Okay, we don't need to write down anything over anywhere. Here you have MCQs. All the questions will be asked in the choice, in the multiple choice question types. Some most of the times you will be asked to select one out of four. Sometimes you might be asked to select two. That's where we look at the questions carefully. But the question number 10 always asks you to select three correct options out of six. Okay, that's the usual question that we have. It is called summary question. We look at that, don't worry as of now. Now when we talk about question types, the broad classification of these question types are reading to find information, basic comprehension questions, and reading to learn. Okay, basic comprehension, what do you understand by basically reading the text? That's what basic comprehension highlights. Then reading to find information, when you're focusing on some kind of information and you are trying to find that information in particular. Okay, and reading to learn, basically reading to understand the whole passage. That's what we mean. Okay, now each of these question types also have sub question types. We are going to look at them one by one, as I said. Okay, now basic comprehension questions, what do they expect you? They expect you to identify the main idea of a reading passage, to understand the key facts and important information that has been given in the reading passage. Also they expect you to understand the logical order or how the passage has been sequenced. Okay, also the vocabulary question comes into this category, which we have practiced before. Then sometimes some questions they ask you to identify the pronouns which are referring to the nouns in the text. Okay, so we call them reference based question. Then we have recognize and create accurate paraphrases, because here the way we have it in India, where in most of the MCQs or most of the reading comprehension, the questions are asked straightforward. It's given in the same wording in the passage, correct? But here in TOEFL, you don't have the reading comprehension in the same way. Okay, the passage will say something and the question will usually paraphrase it, and even the options will paraphrase whatever has been given over there. Okay, so that's where you need to make sure that your paraphrasing skills, you should understand the synonyms and antonyms which are used in the question and the options. Okay, now understand this, TOEFL does not have very high level of English. Also it has moderate level of English. So if you're even average with English, you should be able to understand what is being asked. Okay, you shouldn't face any difficulty usually, but of course it totally depends on how well you pay attention also. Clear? Now we start off with the first question type that we have in basic comprehension questions, that is factual information question. Okay, now what do we mean by factual information question? What do we mean by fact? Fact is something that is given. For example, if I say the sun rises from the east, is it a fact? It is a fact, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, it's a fact. If I say the sun rises from the east, it is a fact. So when we look at factual information question also, here we are saying they are asking you to find the fact or the information which is provided in the passage as a fact. They're asking you to find that information basically. Okay, so something that is directly given in the passage. Here it will not be paraphrased, it will not, you are not asked to infer something, it's directly given. Okay, but the way I said, it will be paraphrased, the wordings won't be same, it will be in paraphrased manner, synonyms and antonyms will be used. Okay, so that's how you should be able to understand or comprehend the language, we could say. Okay, now they generally do not ask you about the general themes that are given in the passage's whole discussion. They look at minor information over here, but not very minor also. For example, the way I have said before, in reading comprehension, in reading test in TOEFL, they won't ask you when did the Panipat ladai take place. They will ask you why did the Panipat ladai take place. Okay, so very minor, एकदम छोटा सा minor detail भी नहीं पूछा जाएगा, a little broader, but not about the whole passage, focusing on that one particular paragraph which will be highlighted in the question. Because we already know that whenever a question is asked, they will ask you according to the paragraph number which we discussed in the last session, correct? According to paragraph number 1, what do we mean? According to paragraph number 2, what does dash 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 mean, correct? That's how it will be asked. Now every passage will contain at least 2 factual information question. Okay, मतलब 2 तो आएंगे ही आएंगे. Sometimes you might also get 5 factual information questions. Trust me, if you have understood the knack of how to solve it, it is very easy to score. Okay, your 2 points are sure, sometimes even 5. So that's why you should understand this question properly. Okay, now I already told you the question would be according to paragraph number. So it would start off with something like according to paragraph dash dash dash, which of the following is true about dash 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 again. According to paragraph 5, which of the following is the main reason that Y declined. Such kind of questions would be asked, and these facts would be mentioned in the passage directly. Okay, now when you are answering this question, or when you are answering any question, I expect you to go back and cross check your answers. Okay, now usually what I suggest is, usually students ask me whether we should read the passage at the start of the timer or start of the test, or we should just directly start attempting the questions. Okay, what I usually, because why they ask this question, because you have paragraph numbers highlighted, right? So can I directly start answering the questions just looking at the questions or the paragraph basically? I usually suggest no. Your strategy should be that whenever you start with the reading test, okay, I told you already that you overall have 35 minutes. You should divide your time. You have 17 minutes tentatively for each passage, correct? So the first 2 minutes should be purely dedicated to reading the passage first time. Okay, but you will just skim and scan through it. What do we mean by skim and scan, Daksh?
Ma'am, I don't know the meaning of skim and scan.
Okay, so that's what I'm going to explain now, don't worry. We are going to skim and scan through the passage quickly. Now example, you have this text on your screen. Okay, so say if we are trying to read this quickly, which is skim and scan basically, refer back to passage in order to determine what exactly said about its subject or question. Since the question may about a detail, you may not recall the detail from your first reading of the passage. So I'm reading it quickly. I'm not focusing on each and every word. I'm just looking at main words, key words. So I know what I am reading about. Okay, if you look at the second paragraph which is given, realize that some answer choices paraphrase information relevant answering correctly. I'm not looking at prepositions, I'm just looking at the main keywords. Okay, just trying to understand what is given where in the passage. Okay, clear with this first strategy? Second thing that you will do is you will always read the headline. Okay, headline is the title basically. Headline because of newspapers, I happen to say that. Yeah, you will first read the title of the passage. Okay, once you have read the title of the passage, then you will look at the introductory paragraph. Introductory paragraph, the first paragraph, you will read it properly. Last paragraph, you will read it properly. All the other paragraphs which are in between, you will focus more on the first line and the last line of each paragraph. Okay, usually the first paragraph should tell you of the passage. The first paragraph of the passage should tell you what the passage
Introductory
is.
part.
Exactly, it should mainly tell you what the passage is about. Okay, again your conclusion paragraph, it should tell you what it
Ending.
basically what it basically it conclusion paragraph always summarizes whatever has been given in the passage. Okay, so these two become important because of that. Then the first line and the last line of each paragraph tell you what the paragraph is focusing on. Okay,
Context.
exactly. And whatever is given in between, you will just skim and scan through it to understand what is given where. Okay, say if I'm talking about Daksh, I'll start off with where Daksh was born. Correct, so that will be that will be in the first paragraph. Then where Daksh did his schooling, that will be in the second paragraph. Where Daksh did his college, that will be in the third paragraph. So the key information, say which school did he go to, from which standard to which standard, all those information, you just need to focus on those keywords. Okay, you don't need to go into okay when, which year did he completed. वो वाला क्वेश्चन नहीं आएगा, हमें पता है इतना nitty-gritty वाला. We just need to know what was the school that he studied in. Okay, or when did he change his schooling, or what was the reason to change his schooling in between, if he changed it, what was the college that he took admission in, what were the exams that he gave. So these kind of information becomes important. Okay, that's what we need to mainly focus on in the first reading. Just understand what is given in the passage and where it is given, so when you look at the questions, you know where it is located even within the paragraph. It becomes easier for you. You don't need to study the paragraph. If you study the paragraph, 17 minutes will go only in studying that.
Reading.
Yeah, exactly, in studying that reading passage. We don't want to do that. We just want to understand what is given in the passage. So once you have read that in 2 minutes, you will start solving the questions. When you start solving the questions, you will have to refer to the paragraph again. Understand this, it's not a memory test. Many students misunderstand that okay, if we have read the paragraph or passage the first time, we don't need to read it again while looking at the question. We'll just select the option based on whatever we have understood and studied. Okay, no, it's not a memory test. We do that in school and college where we don't have a reference text. Okay, here you don't need to do that. You have the reference text in front of you, so you will refer back to passage according to the question. And when you refer back to passage, you will focus on the keywords. Okay, so the way I said, if the question says why did Daksh change his school in 8th grade, so you just look for okay, 8th grade, you know that keyword. Correct, changed his school, so what was the reason? You look for the reason, you'll select the option, you look at the options, you'll select the options. Now if you happen to get confused, because you will, all the options look similar most of the times. Okay, you will tend to get confused, so just look at the question and try to answer the question on your own if you get confused with the options. Once you have looked at the options, once you have selected your option, you'll come back to the paragraph, you will check the option that you have selected is correct, then only you will click on it. So how many times are you checking your answer? Twice. Okay, you are looking at the question, you are looking at your paragraph which is highlighted, you are making sure the option that you have you look at the option, choose that option. Once you have chosen that option, you'll again look at the question, you will look at the paragraph and make sure it answers the question, because trust me, sometimes the options are very big, and that is why we tend to get confused with the options. Okay, and that is the reason we tend to select wrong option. Okay, so the way I said, just look at the question and look at the answer, see if it answers that question. Okay, that's what you will try to do. Clear? As I said, all the options look similar. You have to make sure the option that you select answers the question that you have selected. Okay, question that you are trying to solve. Do not select an answer just because it mentions something that is given in the passage. No, the wordings are going to look the same. If it is asking, why did Daksh change his school in 8th grade? The options are going to say, Daksh changed his school because he could not afford the fees. Daksh changed his school because he was facing issue in academics. Daksh changed his school because his father shifted from Pune to say Delhi. Correct? So of course all the wordings are going to look similar. I'm just giving my own examples over here, okay? Daksh changed his school. So all there, of course it will be paraphrased in each option, but of course it focuses on the same thing again. Okay? And trust me, it will be mentioned in the passage somewhere. These words which I used. So don't get confused just because of that. Clear? Okay. Now
Yes, ma'am.
we have one sample question. Let's try solving it.
It's just paragraph one. Na?
Yes, it's just paragraph 1. It's paragraph number 2 for now, okay? Whichever paragraph you see while solving the sample questions, that's what it's referring to, okay? Don't get confused.
D, I guess.
D, are you sure? Cross check your answer. Tell me once you have cross checked it.
I'm not quite sure.
Okay, the correct answer is B. Okay, it was. Stopped.
Found a way to strengthen the
Stopped.
statues
Yeah. They
literally.
stopped using cannonballs in bronze statues of horses because they found a way to strengthen the statues internally. Okay. It's given in these few lines over here in between if you read it properly.
In the
Okay.
dogma of physics.
Yeah. Again, that that
Cultures,
represents.
aesthetic intentions placed in the ball there.
Hmm. And it says over here it's clear from the fact that the cannonball quickly disappeared. Okay, they stopped using, quickly disappeared when sculptures learned how to strengthen the
Strengthen the
internal
internal
structure,
structure.
okay, of a statue. So they stopped using cannonballs in the bronze statues because they found a way to strengthen the statues internally. Understood how it will be paraphrased?
Guess one.
Yeah, that's what you need to focus on. Okay, it was your first try, so that's fine. Now, for the second one, try to do it properly. Try it quickly.
Ma'am, B or D.
Select only one. Don't select multiple. You have to select only one. The correct answer is
B.
B over here. Yes,
Hmm.
the observations of soldiers' bones were originally used to study human anatomy. Okay,
No,
you
but why not B? The smaller structure of the human body need to be observed with a telescope. In the first line itself, some of these structures are very small and can only be observed and analyzed with the assistance of a microscope.
what is the word used over here?
Microscope or the telescope.
What is
Sorry,
the telescope used for?
sorry, ma'am. Sorry.
Telescope is used to look at the stars.
Stars.
Okay, microscope is used to look at the cells.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
small objects basically. Clear? So that's why that becomes wrong. You have to pay attention to the words. Don't skip those words. Your answer changes totally otherwise. Okay? Your answer is located over here. From this line to
Yes,
this
ma'am.
line. Clear? Okay. One more. Are you not well?
Having a little cold.
Okay. Please take care of yourself. The weather changes
Yes, ma'am.
are very, very bad currently. Yep.
I usually get it in the time weather changes.
Same, same. Even I fall sick. Same to that. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am, but just a minute, please.
Mm-hmm. What's the answer?
Ma'am, C.
C. That's correct. Very good. Okay. Now,
Yes.
for this question, you will take a screenshot of this. We'll stop over here for today if you are not feeling well, right? So, we'll stop over here for today. In the next session, we'll look at the negative factual information question. Another reason I'm stopping at this point is usually students tend to get confused if we look at factual information and negative factual information type of question together. Okay, which is the next type. It's very confusing because it's vice versa. In that you're looking for a false option. Okay, in this you're looking
Okay.
for a true option. So students tend to get confused in these two. Okay, so take a screenshot of this. You'll try to solve this one for homework. Okay, and next in the next session we'll look at the negative factual information and vocabulary type of question. Okay, which is again
Okay.
a part of basic comprehension. Of course, we'll try to go further also. Yeah.
Okay.
Any question, anything that you did not understand in this part?
No, ma'am, nothing.
Okay. Did you go through the chapter 1 of TOEFL guide
Yes, ma'am.
chapter 2? Okay. Now today what you will do is you will try to go through the chapter number 2 of your TOEFL guide, which focuses on
Okay.
reading question types. Okay? You will go through the reading question types, all of them. Yeah?
Okay.
Okay. So we'll stop over here. We'll continue in the next session on Saturday.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, then please take care of yourself.
Thank you, ma'am. Same
No
to you.
problem.